Did y'all hear that the head of CNN, Chris Licht, L-I-C-H-T, stepped down as head of CNN, effective immediately, obviously pushed out by David Zaslav. We all know what that's about. Head of Discovery, which obviously owns CNN. The man that brought him in booted him out. It reads here, Licht's departure represents a dramatic fall after only 13 months when he departed as an executive producer of Stephen Colbert's top-rated late-night show and vowed to bring a middle-of-the-road balance. When he took the job, he told friends it was a calling. An interim group of CNN leaders, Amy Entel's Virginia Mosley, Eric Sherling, David Levy, will take over before a permanent leader is installed. I feel bad. I'm not going to lie. First things first, they've had no one that comes remotely close to replacing Chris Cuomo. I'm just going to say that. I like Chris Cuomo. Don't know all the details, not saying everything he did was right. Your brother's running. Your brother's a governor. Obviously having some of the accusations thrown in his direction. Could Chris Cuomo have handled it better? Sure. He came right on this podcast and explained that. Back in October, Chris Cuomo was right on this podcast. And he explained that. Go look at it. Go listen to it if you want to hear what Chris Cuomo had to say. But I am a fan of Chris Cuomo's. I think the man is smart as hell. I think he's tough as nails. I think whatever mistakes he's made, he's learned from them. He committed whatever mistakes he made in support of his big brother. Should have just recused himself, in my estimation. Took a break from television and came back after helping your brother. That's what I think he should have done. But that's hindsight. That's neither here nor there. I'm saying strictly as a television host and commentator, CNN has had no one, in my estimation, that remotely compares to Chris Cuomo. And in a perfect world, I think they should go back and get him. That's right, I said it. By the way, there have been times where, I'm kind of thinking News Nation may have rated CNN. I don't know that to be true. I think Newsmax has. But Chris Cuomo, sharp as a tack, knows his stuff. And if you're a centrist, leaning, tilting left, he's the perfect guy. We give everybody else second chances in this world, it seems. We don't mind doing business with the Saudi Arabian government, even though we want to complain about human rights violations. We had a president in the White House that broke all kinds of rules and regulations and of decorum at the very least. One lawsuit after another. He's still leading the polls for the Republican nomination. We can't forgive Chris Cuomo? I think we should. I think if you CNN, you're damn well better. You're damn well better. Because I don't see anything that you have that's going to replace him. I'm just telling you. Back to Chris Licht. I feel sorry for him. I feel very, very bad for him. And I'm going to tell you why I feel very bad for him. He's being blamed for a demise and a plummeting of a network that was never on top. I've been a guest on CNN. I respect the multitude of their hosts on CNN, from Anderson Cooper to Wolf Blitzer to Jake Tapper, who I like, to Don Lemon, who I appeared on several occasions, to Chris Cuomo, who I've come to know. I have friends that work at CNN. I respect the hell out of CNN. But it's a numbers game, and the fact of the matter is they've been in last place for a long time. Chris Licht came on board, and maybe he said some things in an effort to try to assuage the right or ingratiate himself with the right to get them as a part of his network again. Maybe in some people's eyes he went about it wrongly because he was too willing to talk about what he thought plagued the network with the previous regime under Dave Zucker. I get it. But in the end, what was his goal? His goal was to find an audience. Because MSNBC has the left, Fox News has the right, and CNN was sharing the left audience with MSNBC. So because that was their reality, where were you going to go? If you're trying to be number one, you got to try something new. He leaned and tilted to the center. And he might have gone about it the wrong way by having a Trump town hall and making sure the audience was filled with pro-Trump supporters. And because Trump being Trump was going to turn it into a damn infomercial, regurgitating election fraud, hinting at immigration laws being modified. So somebody, an illegal immigrant that enters the country and gives birth to a kid here, suddenly that doesn't necessarily make a kid an American citizen. This is the kind of the stuff Trump was saying. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, was abhorred by that town hall. The Rep. Kinzinger that stepped away from Illinois, he was appalled by it, along with various others. Chris Licht tried something. It didn't work. He tried something because he was given the impression that he had time to try things and to make mistakes, and evidently that wasn't the case. So in that regard, I'm just saying I feel bad. I feel bad because it was a sinking ship. I'm just reading from some of the ratings here. Ratings in June of 2022. Licht's first month on the job, the primetime lineup drew 654,000 total viewers on average per night. That was down 1%. The daytime audience shrank 3% in June to 487 viewers per day. Conversely, MSNBC, CNN's main competition in June 2022, viewership was up and tuned in for daytime coverage and analysis of the House hearings with an average of 767,000 viewers. That's nearly 300,000 more than CNN. The past month of May 2023, CNN averaged only 494,000 total primetime viewers. Number 14 on basic cable, down 1% from April. 416 total today viewers. Number 5 on basic cable. Compared to April, CNN was down 16% in total primetime viewers and minus 16% amongst adults 25 to 54. Ladies and gentlemen, that wasn't anything new. Even at their height, when they were getting record ratings for themselves because of Trump being in office and riding that Trump coattail to ratings, they were still third to MSNBC and Fox News. What did you expect them to do? Just go along to get along and stay in last place? And I'm not denigrating or throwing insults at anybody at CNN or whatever. I respect the hell out of that network. I truly do. I respect MSNBC too. And yes, I respect a lot of people on Fox News. Yes, I do. But let me be very, very clear. It's a numbers game. And it just seems to me that there's a whole bunch of people, they want to talk about the importance of journalism and preserving journalism and fact-checking and getting your stuff right. And all of that stuff is important. They're right. They're not wrong. But you got to add the importance of ratings to that, because ratings pay the bills. And when those bills get paid, your bills get paid. And people who want to avoid that don't want to live in reality. They literally want to go on TV. If you are one of those people that think that way, that's what I mean by saying that. If you're one of those people that think that way, what you're essentially saying is, I want to be able to go on television and have no responsibility whatsoever to produce ratings. I just want to be able to do my job, whether one person is watching or 1 million people are watching, and I don't want to have to worry about my job security. That is not the real world. Chris Licht knew that and tried to alter this situation. It didn't work out for him. I'm sad that it didn't. But I know this much. He helped develop and create Morning Joe, which is a successful show on MSNBC. When he departed as EP, executive producer of Late Night with Stephen Colbert, they were number one and they've been number one. He's had some number ones associated with his career. So all of a sudden he got to CNN and forgot what he was doing? You sure about that? You sure about that? Because I'm not.